I love this bag. And you know what the best part is? I stitched it by hand. And you can too, with a Babylon leather bag DIY kit. Isn't she beautiful? I'm in love. Hi everyone, welcome to So Lovely with Grace. If you're new here, I'm Grace. If you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about this beautiful bag that I was gifted from Babylon Leather. Well, they gave me the pieces. They didn't give me the bag. I hand stitched the bag myself. So isn't that amazing? Isn't she beautiful? And I need to show you the inside. Look at the hardware. There's a zip pocket inside too. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. And I wanted to showcase this bag for you today. And these gorgeous bag feet keeps the bag elevated. The leather never touches anything. It's always clean. Look how sleek that is. I chose this blush pink leather color because it's girly yet sophisticated, and this Abbey Lock design, that's the name of the bag, because it's simple. It has sleek, simple lines, yet it's elegant. And I just love it. It's perfect. I picked the medium because it comes in small, medium, or large, and I just love this size. And what I want to do is go outside and model it for you, show you how I wear it with 4 different looks, and each look I made. So for example, I'm going to model it with this top. This is a Vogue top that I made. So for each look, I will flash the pattern in the corner so you know what I made with, the outfit, and then you could go back and watch the videos on it if you're interested. But I do want to show you how I wear this bag with my outfits that I already have. And I absolutely love this color for the spring and summer. It's beautiful. So I'm going to show you how I model it, and then we'll come inside and I'll talk about my experience. Also, I didn't forget, I will be spinning for my weekly giveaway at the end of this video. So let's go out. So what'd you think of those looks? Those are just a few. I have this bag and I could wear it with more. I just didn't have time to show you all the looks. I could wear it with denim jeans, with shorts, with my denim embroidered jacket with the birds and the flowers. I mean, this bag, I could carry it with a lot of different things. And just the craftsmanship, the workmanship, the hand stitching, every one of these stitches, how even they are. You have to pull them each time, so it's labor intensive. I could do it, but if you have arthritis, it might be a little difficult. But I'm thrilled with the results. I keep showing you the bottom just because I think it's so pretty. I just want to look at the bottom. So yeah, it came with this little horsey that they give you, this leather horsey. I didn't make it, it's a gift, so you can attach it if you want. I also got these tie scarves you could tie for more decorative look. But what I want to do first is I'm going to show you the unboxing of the kit. So what you get with it. And it looks overwhelming at first, but what's really nice is this company, they have the tutorials. And if you're a visual person and you could just watch the sew along or tutorials on YouTube, you're good to go. And I found it a little awkward because for this particular tutorial, there's no audio. It's just watching them put it together and reading what's on the screen. I got used to it and I enjoyed it. But let me show you the unboxing first and then I'll tell you more about my experience. Now for the unboxing. Ooh. So it came in this box. It's pretty plain. There's no markings on it. Of course, the shipping label wasn't, on it. And I just got a razor and cut where the tape is. So I'm going to open it now. I'm so excited. Okay. So here we go. Here's the packing list or shipping list. It says here exactly what I got. The Babylon Abbey Lock Bag Leather DIY Kit in pink. Yes, I wanted pink and I wanted the medium. I wanted something girly yet sophisticated and I thought that fit the bill. It has 2 QR codes here, it looks like, for tutorials. So maybe they split the tutorial in 2 parts, not sure. Finished pony pendant. I've seen that on other YouTube channels. So that's in the box. Silk scarves. I guess there's 2 in there. Interesting. Can't wait to see them. And then leather sewing tools, positioning pins, free gift. And of course all the hardware's in here, I imagine, because that's what I've heard and seen. Sorry about the rustling here. Okay. Unleash your creativity with Babylon Leather. I gotta tell you, these people are professional. They are top notch so far. I've been treated so well with them. And it looks like About Us. It looks like, I did go to their website too. I gotta tell you all about that. It's pretty impressive. I guess these are ones that people have made from the Netherlands, from the US, United Kingdom, United States, other people made. Being here. When you sew, the entire world comes to a halt. That's so true, isn't it? And you experience the deepest love and unwavering trust. As 2 needles interlace, you encounter the supreme and boundless mutual assistance between souls. Wow, that's pretty deep. Love, trust, and mutual assistance. So the kit says 100% hand sewn, full grain leather, quality hardware, step-by-step tutorial video, and all-inclusive materials and tools. Wow, you can't beat that. Wonderful. So let's get into it. Okay. All right, this looks like it's going to go in the handles, which makes sense. I'm just going to set them aside here. And this is the color. This is the pink color. Isn't that beautiful? It's like a rose or powder pink. And this side is finished. This is leather. I love it. It's beautiful. Very high quality, and the smell. I could smell the whole box. It smells like leather, deep leather. So that, I guess this is the strap. So my guess, I haven't watched the whole tutorial yet. I watched part of it. We would put these tubes in each one of these and then sew them on. So let's see, what can I do? Let me grab some scissors and cut this so you don't hear it. I'll be right back. So I cut the bag, you won't hear anything. It looks like this is the scarf. They said it had 2 in there. Let's see how many are in here, and you can see that. It looks like there's 2 scarves. Pretty cool. You could tie that on the bag and give it a little more style. That's nice. Oh, and here's the leather pony. I've seen this on other channels. It doesn't match the pink of my bag exactly, but maybe it's supposed to stand out. That's really cute. I don't know if it's my style, but I like it. I guess it matches the scarf. It has a little blue in there. Pretty cool. Okay, now here are the leather tabs, it looks like, for the hardware, and this is, looks like it goes in the front of the bag where the handles go. Very nice. They have all of them in here. And, oh, this is the inside zip pocket. That's what I loved about this bag. It has an inside pocket. Look at the hardware, that gold hardware. Beautiful. Very high quality. There you go. Inside zip pocket. I'm going to put in. And then this is the top zipper of the bag. It's already, it looks like it's already stitched. And it's the gold hardware too. Beautiful. I love it so far. I love this, like a blush rose pink. Very feminine, very dainty. I'm glad I went with it. And here are the pieces. This looks like the side of the bag, and all the holes are pre-punched holes for accuracy. And here's the other side. You can see the pinholes. Okay, that's one side panel. This is the second one, exactly the same. So this pink leather is beautiful, and then this is like an off-white interior. Beautiful. I'm very happy. Then we have the bottom, which is for the inside of the bag. 4 holes, I imagine, for bag feet. Absolutely. And then here's the main pieces. So this is how big the bag's going to be, which is a medium. So they had the small, medium, and large, and I wanted the medium. And I'm really happy with this size. It's just right. Look how cute that's going to be. I'm really excited about this. Okay. So there's the other piece. So we're almost done with this. Look at this. And there's the holes. They're pretty big, so I imagine it won't be too hard to get the needle through that. We have this little tie in the front, I guess. And then I guess this is all the hardware, the tools, this thread, everything you're going to need to put together the bag. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. And I went with a pink thread. This is a slightly lighter pink, which is going to have a little contrast. I think that's going to look very refined. I think those two together, beautiful. So, love it. And then all kinds of pieces here. Looks like bag feet. And these are little rubber finger protectors, I guess, to give you a good grip on the bag when you're sewing. And we have, what's in here? Oh, this is the strap, because there's going to be this like handle for the bag and then the strap for like the cross body. So you can use it with or without it. Of course, I'm going to use it. And that's what the thread's going to look like when I stitch it. How pretty. I love the contrast. We got the needles here, a lot of needles. Look at all those needles. And then these are the clippers, it looks like. Okay, I'm going to get that later. And then more hardware. It's like the D-rings. And this, a binder clip, it looks like, to hold the bag together while you're sewing, make life easier. You even got a screwdriver. They did not miss a thing with the DIY kit. So there's everything you need to make this bag. So this is day one, the unboxing. What I'm going to do is day by day, I'm going to log the progress, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing and how long it takes, and we'll have a bag by the end of I'm hoping a few days, because I'm going to do this, you know, when I would normally sew. I don't know, I might sew still, but I got to get this bag done. I want to get it done because I want to carry it for the spring. Okay guys, that's the unboxing. As you can see in the kit, they give you everything you need to be successful to make this bag. They give you all the hardware and they give you all the tools. And I've learned a lot because some of these tools I've never seen or heard of because I never work with leather. And one of these tools are these positioning pins, okay? These are used to line up the leather pinholes so they line up and then you can stitch evenly. It's wonderful. These are great, but I did have a hard time with them. So in this video, I'm going to go through the positives and the negatives, and you know, that tool is invaluable for this project, for any of the bags, but it was kind of hard to use because I would put the push pin in the leather, but then it was hard to take it apart. I don't know why, but I had to have Tom help me with that. So what I'm going to do is show you various steps. I'm not going to show you everything, and you're going to see some of my progress in this video. But one thing I want to say, I loved making this bag. I enjoyed, even though some parts were harder than others, it was just such a meditative process. I just enjoyed it. The part I didn't enjoy was pausing to record the parts of it for you, and I'm sorry about that. It's probably like knitting or crocheting, which I've never done, but I assume if you get into it, you know, you don't want to stop and move a camera or do whatever. So I just wanted to say, the next bag I make, which I'm going to be making, and definitely going to order one for Mother's Day. I gotta have another one. I love this. But just want to say that recording while I made the bag, to me, was not the most fun. That's why my channel's not a tutorial or sew along. I just don't get into that. I just like to get into my groove and be creative and just get those juices going, and I'm just excited about it. So if you see that I'm not, you know, in the best mood when I'm sewing, it's because I had to stop, get the camera, record, and then stop. Because this took about, well, what was it, 5 days, about 4 hours a day, so about 20 hours, which is perfect. I didn't sew, you know, in my sewing room. I sewed in various different parts on my property. I was at the pool, I was on my living room couch, I was at my dining room table. It's just one of those projects that you could take with you wherever you want. And I didn't want to hand sew in my sewing room. So that's what you're going to see. Now the first day were the handles. This is the first day that I stitched. This is the first day that I touched the leather, I smelled it and got into it. And there's 2 tutorials for this particular bag. The handles were a separate video. So I started with the handles. So let me show you. So this is day 1 of my sewing. I'm going to begin today with the handles. There's 2 tutorials. One is the bag handles and one is the bag. So I decided to start with the handles. So I got the straps here, this beautiful pink leather with the holes. And this is the inside, very beautifully finished. And you get this tube with it to give it shaping, the bag handle shape. But I found it challenging, cumbersome to hold the tube here. I didn't want to put tape here or anything and begin sewing. So I found these positioning pins that came with the hardware, which is genius. And what you do with these, as obviously you can see, is putting in these pins every so many pinholes, and I counted them to be accurate, so everything lines up. And it just makes life so much easier. This is what I've stitched so far. It's an easy weaving sewing technique. I enjoyed this so much. I had a cup of coffee, I was sitting on the couch, and I started doing this. I gotta say though, the pins are a little hard to pull apart and put together, but once you get them in, they're good. But you definitely need that. Highly recommend it when you're doing the handles to use these positioning pins. Otherwise things slip and slide and I wasn't having a good time, and I want to have a good time with this, and I am so far. So you have one thread with 2 needles, and the threads have to be even. And it's just an easy weaving technique. Let me show you how I go with it. So I got this 1 needle. It's just very easy. You poke it through the hole, the next hole here. You pull it through. It's a wax finish on the thread, so it slips in really smoothly. Pull it tight, because you want your threads to look good, right? Then you get the next needle, and in that same hole that you just pulled out of, you go back in, and you pull that through. Very smooth, very nice. And you pull both threads tightly, okay? You want it tight so it looks beautiful like that. And then you keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this. It should only take about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes max. And then I'm going to grab the other strap with the tube, and I'll show you how I put in the positioning pins like this, and then go from there. So I've been sewing and it's looking really good, and I've been pulling the threads tightly. There was one of these pins here that was easy to get out. This one's a little tough. I'm having a little problem. It's just not coming out. I'm having a really tough time with it. So that's one little warning. Maybe I don't know the technique. I'm turning it, but there's no really thread screws here. It's like you just got to pull it. So I don't know. I'm really having a tough time at this point. Even though these are ideal for this project, just getting them off, I didn't realize how tough it was. I don't want to break it, and I don't want to damage the leather either. So let me just put it down on the table here, see if I can do anything. Yeah, it's really tough. Very tough. Wow. I might have to ask Tom to do this. Well, Tom was there to help, so I got him to remove the pin, and the other ones I could do myself. So I don't know if it was defective or what, but I wanted to give you my honest opinion about those positioning pins. They are a great tool, but for some reason, some of them were real sticky to separate. I finished stitching the first handle. I think it looks great. And now I'm at the last push pin. I only have a couple stitches left here. So let's see how easy this one comes off. The other ones came out pretty good. Just that one stuck. Of course, this one looks kind of stubborn too. I love this, but these push pins are a little... Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad. I guess they gotta be, you know, stuck, because then they'll come apart. But yeah. And now I'm going to finish these last 3 stitches. So I stitched all of this, and I'm at a point where the positioning pin needs to be removed. And I think I realize now, once these are used, they're easy to put in and out. So now I'm going to turn this, and it should come right out. Actually, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, I guess just the first time they stick a little, but other than that, they're great. I love them. I don't know how people could sew these without them, but I'm enjoying this. But like I said, I do enjoy this. I don't really enjoy videotaping me because it slows me down, and I just want to get into the rhythm and keep going. But I absolutely love it, and see how that is, and then you just pull, tighten as you go, so you have nice clean stitches, and they're all even, and that this is closed. You don't want any gaps there, you don't want it open. And then I just continue the next hole, and then pick up the needle here and go down. So it's just like weaving it. It's like almost a weaving technique. And the wax thread is so smooth, it just goes right in there. And again, you pull again to tighten it, and just keep going. So I'm going to finish this row, and then we'll move on to the next. I have these 2 side bag pieces with the tab for the D-ring. So you just slip in the D-ring here, and the idea is to sew all this onto these holes right here, just like that. So you're literally sewing through 3 layers of leather. And, you know, I started it here. It's in process. It's coming along very well. Just want to show you that. Here's the other side. And, you know, it might get a little tough. So you just wiggle the needle to get through the hole because you got 3. So this to me was the toughest so far. It's just getting the needle out of the hole, and there you go. It's not that bad. You just got to work with it, and you pull it tight. Okay? So I stitched this one in, the D-ring with the tab. It looks perfect. I'm really happy with it. And I'm working on the second one. And like I said, I just sit on the couch and relax. And I don't mind, you know, recording part of this process, but it's really impacting my flow. I have to stop, record. So I'm going to show you as I progress what's completed and then, you know, not in the middle of a step. So I hope you don't mind, but that's what I'm doing here. I'm on the couch relaxing. And so I sewed these spacers on the ends of the handles. I have to do the same on this handle, and then after that you cover them with this piece, and then it's sewn to the bag. So to finish off these threads here, they recommend using a lighter, and you just, well, get it and then press down on it to melt, because this is wax thread and that'll seal it. So I'm going to go and do that for all the pieces that have, you know, 2 millimeters of thread cut, because that's how much you're supposed to leave when you finish a part. So like right here, there's these little threads here. So just light it, and then I press down, and there it's sealed. Now I'm sewing these covers on the handles, and what I did was I used a binder clip to hold it together, because there's the 2 pieces and they're going to be sewn to this 3rd piece, which is the bag, and it just makes life so much easier. They're so thoughtful. They thought of everything. So I'm doing that exact same process of stitching all the way. Using these positioning pins is highly recommended because it makes life easier. So what I have to do on this step is to just sew the top here, right at the top, and then I put the tab on the cover here. So I'll just do the top row, remove the pins, and then reposition the pins with the top tab to cover the hand. I'm going to be putting the bag pieces together. So there's going to be some cross stitch down this bottom seam. Now the stitching at the bottom is a little different. So I fed the thread through the bottom 2 holes, and it's going to be an X, little X's all the way up. So you start from this side and you go to the next hole down. I can do it. Pull it through, and then cross over with the other needle to this hole. Go down. Oops. So there's an X. Then from the back you have to go up into the front and cross over. Ta-da! This is wonderful. Came out perfect. I think this was the easiest part of the bag. I sewed up one of the sides here at the bottom. It looks really good. And I want to show you that I'm using these positioning pins. They make life so much easier because it doesn't slide around while you sew. The only problem is they're hard to remove after. To really work your hands. Sometimes I have to ask Tom. So I finished sewing the sides on the bottom of the bag, and here we're going to put the bag feet in with the bottom interior. I'm going to turn this in. Look at that stitching, looks great. And here is the bottom piece. I'm going to just put it down here to line up the holes. very easy. They gave you a little screwdriver. I have my screws and my bag feet. So I'm going to line up the screw with the holes. Perfect. And there's the bag feet. So I'm just going to screw it in. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Right here. Hopefully. See how it goes in. Turn it. And then screw it from the other side. You have everything you need in these kits. I love it. All right, that's the first foot. Looks great. I'm going to do all four now. I love it. Now that I have the bottom and the feet in, I'm going to sew up the sides, and I use these positioning pins again, which are wonderful, and the binder clip, and I count the holes to be accurate, so this lines up exactly where it should. Otherwise you're maneuvering it and it's just really hard to work with. This really simplifies things. So now I'm going to follow the video with the stitches to show you know, how to stitch this. So today begins day 4. This is what I got done so far. I'm really loving how things are working out. And I stitch the one side here, and I did the opposite side. That's looking good. And the bottom. So now I'm going to be putting in the zip pocket in the middle, the zip at the top, and sew up the sides, and I should complete this today, I hope. We'll see what happens. So today I'm stitching by the pool. I'm just gonna hang out here. It's so beautiful with the waterfall, the sound of the water. And I got my bag here. My needles threaded from yesterday, ready to go to the next step. I'm so excited. And of course, I gotta have my coffee. Got my coffee mug here and my little plate with my little hardware and tools that I need for the project today. So I'm gonna spend a few hours out here and catch some sun and enjoy the day. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind when you're stitching, like these are 2 threads coming out of 2 holes, and what I'm going to do is this needle here, I need to feed it back into this next hole for the next stitch right here. What I do is I pull this thread away from the hole, and then I sew it in. You do not want to pierce that thread, or you will not have a clean stitch. So that's very important. It got a little too warm for my Toto, so he's hanging out here. And I'm sewing in the pocket. It's getting a little challenging. So I used the pins here to hold it together. And I'm going to continue to sew. This is really challenging. Sewing in the zip pocket inside, and this has been the most challenging part of the bag. These binder clips help a lot, but I literally have to sew through 4 layers of leather, 2 of the outside bag and then 2 for the zip pocket. I ripped this out 3 times. This is my 4th time. I'm just being honest. Finally think I got it going now, but it is tough. I'm coming down to the wire here, sewing in the zip in the middle, and this push pin has been invaluable. These positioning pins, they are wonderful. So I'm almost done, can't wait. So that was my experience making the bag. I had a love-hate relationship with those positioning pins. I love their functionality, I just hated taking them apart. But in the end, it worked out great. I love my bag, it's beautiful. And I'm just in love with this process. And it would have been smoother if I didn't have to record. It just kind of broke the mood. So I just wanted to tell you, this is a great company. Babylon Leather on their website has many bags. They have designer-inspired bags. They have the Hermes Birkin bags, the Kelly bag, and they're identical to the original. And you can make one of those if you like. So I'm going to go look and see what I want to make. They have Mother's Day sale now. I have a discount code, SOLOVELY10, for additional 10% off. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about that I found on their site is if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of making a bag without a kit, if you're really a leather craftsman, they sell the patterns. Yes, patterns. Like when you have garment patterns and you cut the fabric, well, they sell the patterns of the bags. They are acrylic or Craftex. Of course, the acrylic costs more, but they also have Craftex, the paper kind. So you could cut your own leather, poke your own holes if you really want to get into it. And I'm sure there's people that do that. This is all new to me, but I'm loving the kits. So I just want to let you know about that too. So you know what? Babylon Leather, they're great. I hope you check them out. I hope you try a bag. You know, I think it's a great experience, and you'll see another bag on my channel for sure. So now let's do last week's giveaway. I'm giving away this McCall's pattern, 7572, this flowy, wonderful top. It has these line drawings, and we're going to go to the wheel and spin for the winner. And last week's question was, what's your sewing tip? I got a lot of responses, and at the end of the video I'm going to read some to you, and you might find a lot of them helpful. So let's go to the wheel and spin. For this week's giveaway we had 49 entries, and I imported them into Wheel of Names. There they are, 49 entries. How exciting. And I'm going to give it a shuffle, give it a second shuffle, and now let's spin the wheel for the winner. Okay, who is it today? It's Shay to Ted. Congratulations! You won the McCall's blouse pattern. Wow. Congratulations, Shay to Ted. You won this McCall's pattern, 7572. To claim your pattern, please send an email to solovely.with.grace@gmail.com with your contact information. And also, if you could please put the pattern number in the subject of the email so it doesn't go into spam. And I'll ship this out as soon as possible. So now, for the next giveaway for next week. I'm going to be giving away another McCall's pattern. This is a shirt dress. Look at that. I believe Brittany J. Jones has a sew-along for this also. And this pattern, it's, what number is this? 8449. And the sizes are from 8 to 16, but it could probably go up to 18. It's very roomy. It has a lot of ease. And the suggested fabrics are challis, cotton blends, linen, and poplin. We have buttons as the notions. And it just looks like a great pattern. So what are the rules of the giveaway? Well, you need to be a resident of US or Canada, because that's the only two places that I'll ship to. You need to be a subscriber to my channel. Please give a thumbs up to this video. And then you need to answer the question of the week. And this week's question is, do you name your machines or anything else in your sewing room? Please put it in the comments, and I will respond to with the word entered, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. Please post your response by Monday, May 5th at midnight, and then I will reveal the winner of that giveaway for this pattern on Friday's video, May 9th. Good luck! So, last week's question was, what's your best sewing tip? And I got a lot of responses. Stick around if you want to hear them, because they're very helpful. I put the list together. I just copy and pasted your responses in a Word document here. So some might be repetitive. I apologize for that, but I didn't get a chance to go through them all. But there's a lot of great ones. So I'm going to read the list, but first let me give you my response. One of my tips, there was a lot that you guys already do, but one of them was to seam rip from the wrong side. I'm sure you guys know that, but it's just a good one. You never know. It's always best to seam rip anything from the wrong side, because if there's a tear or a pull, it won't show, obviously. So let me read your sewing tips this week. Here we go. Fell's Naphtha laundry bar removes anything and everything. Take your time sewing. Be patient, take time to press seams, make sure you use pins or clips. Always wash my fabric. I research YouTube. Take good measurements and pressing. I look up what I need to know on YouTube. Stop sewing when you're tired. Iron every seam before going to the next. Press, press, press. Never sew when you're tired. Use your different sewing machine feet. Yes, most things can be done with an all-purpose foot, but sometimes a specialized foot can do a much better job for a specific purpose. Don't leave them sitting unused in your sewing box. Sometimes you need to walk away from a project and sleep on it. Come back to it with a fresh eyes and a good night's sleep. Create a bodice block to use to create your own patterns. To read through directions completely before you begin sewing. Barkeeper's Friend powdered cleanser to remove stain. When sewing any clothes, give an extra 3/4 inch to an inch allowance on both sides and sleeves. That way, if I need to adjust the size, quote, make it bigger, there is always room for that. To read the pattern instructions thoroughly and to use a pencil to mark the steps for your particular view. This sewing tip isn't so much which kind of machine to buy, but what support is available. Classes, info, and service nearby. Buying from a person nearby gives you so much knowledge and fellowship. To slow down and take your time, haste makes sewing waste. To use your iron as you sew, make your garments look so professional. Never give up on sewing. As long as you sew, you'll never have any time or money to get into trouble. Diane, thanks for that tip from Silver Thread Sewing. That is her motto. To save money is to use neutral colors of thread on many of my projects. Gray, beige, black, or white blends on many colors and especially on prints. Sorry about that. To read the pattern entirely before starting and lay out all your pattern pieces. The fabric shrinks with pre-wash before cutting, so wash in warm water, not hot, and dry everything on a big clothesline outside. People seem to like to buy exactly the amount they need, which may not be a good idea if the fabric shrinks. Change needles and use the right needle. Change your sewing machine needles often and use needles that coordinate with the type of fabric you're using. Take your time, read carefully, and stitch slowly. Change your sewing machine, I already said that. Make your measurements match the size you choose. Do not assume you can make your off-the-rack dress size. No matter whether your pattern is easy or experienced, make it. Watch Sew Lovely with Grace. I'm a novice. That's from my neighbor, Debbie Hoover. Thanks, Debbie. You're so funny. Don't use wax base markings. Mark the wrong side only. Use hydrogen peroxide to dissolve stains. No tequila shots when sewing. Haha, all kidding aside, pressing is very important. Break the guide sheet into sections and just try to finish one section at a time. Just sew and have fun. Grandma's secret is the only thing I found that will get out the stains. Last page. A stain problem, but her go-to was lava soap. I remember lava soap. When you have to remove some stitches on one side, I will pick out a stitch about every 1/4 inch or so. Then on the other side, I can break the stitching at one end and then pull that entire piece of thread loose. Yeah, I've done that, at least for a ways, and cut that off. The other side of the stitches will poke through the fabric and you can just pick out each little piece. Nancy Zeman's sewing tip about getting things done in little bits of time from her book, 10 Minutes to Sew. Keep a sticky lint roller by your machine to pick up threads from your sewing table and off the floor. Keep a magnet nearby in case you drop your pins. Double check seam allowance notes on your pattern as we sew. Always press your seams and have patience when it comes to sewing. Double check seam allowance notes on our patterns as we sew. So often there is an area on some patterns that do not use a standard 5/8 inch seam allowance. Pressing your seams, and my personal advice to myself, is to give it your best and have fun. Measuring is very important. Always iron your pattern first on low heat and no water in the iron. If you have a hole at the end of your measuring tape, tie a 1 foot long piece of ribbon. It can assist you with measuring your body from across the back, for example, from the hip to the ankle. And if you have one piece of fabric a little longer than the other while sewing, put it on the bottom next to the feed dogs, and the feed dogs will help ease in the fabric to match the top. And I missed one here. When you're putting interfacing on a facing, base the interfacing glue side up. Leave a section to turn, and then when it's turned, the interfacing is fused to the wrong side with no unfinished edges. Wonderful tips, thank you. That was great. I think it's wonderful to read all these tips, and I hope it was helpful to you. And again, I hope you found this video informative and fun, and most of all, I hope you were so inspired.